In today's show, we're looking ahead to the action for Saturday in the NBA. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_Beeble and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. This episode is also brought to you by McDonald's. They have been serving the community proudly since 1965. McDonald's has always been more than just a place to get tasty and affordable food. It's an unofficial community center. We thank Maccas for sponsoring this show and for always being there. I'm loving it. Thank you to you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Before we do quickly get into talking about tomorrow's games, Saturday's games, whatever day you listen to this, Colin Sexton out for the season. Yep, there you go. Hopefully you already dropped him. If not, drop him. Of course, Ricky Rubio is a must-roster player. Okoro's just a deep league guy. Osman maybe a short-term, well, not even short-term, maybe like a 14-team, 12-team streamer. It just means that Garland's value goes up, Markkanen's value goes up, Allen's value goes up, Rubio's value goes up. I wouldn't say there's going to be an absolute must-roster guy, though. Osman's going to become the closest, maybe Love, but even then, it's probably just more streaming sort of stuff. We also had an injury to Isaiah Stewart today. He was immediately ruled out, and they said he was questionable to return. So if you do want to take a flyer on someone, it's going to have to be Luka Garza. I don't know who else is going to play center. Trey Lyles is shocking at it. He's shocking at basketball, but he's also shocking at playing center. They're the options. They don't really have much. They're going to play Jeremy Grant at center. Maybe you'd look at Garza, but I don't know the severity of the Isaiah Stewart injury at this point. So let's look ahead to the games for Saturday. The Rockets and the Knicks. I want to see Daniel Tice, but more importantly, what the situation is with Tice and Şengün and Christian Wood and KJ Martin and how all that is run through your mate Steve Silas. Like, what is he going to do after the issues after the last game where he started Daniel House for one half and David Nwaba for another half, and both of them sucked? Like, what happens to Tice? What happens to Şengün? And then Jalen Green showed a little bit against the Thunder, but he's been bad in most games. We're still giving him a little bit of extra leash here in terms of waiting and see if he figures it out by the end of this month. So let's see what he does. While for the New York Knickerbockers, to say they've been bad lately is a bit of an understatement. Julius Randle, the double royal, is really struggling. Can he get his efficiency back, his usage back, his assists back? Can the starters do anything? Is Randle a one-hit wonder from last year? These are all questions that need to be answered. While I also want to watch Emmanuel quickly. What do his minutes look like? He's been outperforming Fournier and Kemba and probably Derrick Rose as well. He's been playing really well. Will Thibodeau have the balls to throw him into more minutes? Probably not, but he needs to. So let's see how they run that one over there for the New York Knicks. For the Pelicans and the Pacers, I do want to see what happens with Josh the Hitman Hart because he's playing at a really high level. I'm skeptical of that being able to maintain as we move forward, even before Zion returns. I think he is a 12-team league guy, but is he going to keep playing 38 minutes a night? That 11 assist game he had boosts his numbers. Like, where is he going to sit? And then also Herbalife Jones, who was playing really well, and then they've somehow reduced him down to like 24 minutes. I want to watch him to see if there's any hope of him forcing into a larger role. I don't think there is, but I just want to see how that looks. While for the Pacers, guess I was right to be concerned about how things would look for them this season. I didn't think it'd be this bad, but it's bad. It's real bad. They were shocking on Friday. So let's see, can Sabonis get some shots? Can he do anything? Can he get anywhere close to approaching what he did last season? My guess is no at this stage. And then Chris Duarte, he is really, really, really a drop guy at this point. Like, he's not doing anything. It's trending down. I think he's a drop. But can these guys do something to be positive? I don't know. The Heat and the Wizards. We saw without Tyler Hero, and they're going to be without Tyler Hero again. Gabe Vincent went bananas last game. Can he do it again? Odds would say no. But I'd like to see if he is used once again in that hero role, or can Strus push into that role. And then PJ Tucker, with Markieff Morris out, his minutes have been up. He's been rebounding well. He's becoming at least like a 14-team streamer, maybe even a 12-team streamer. For the Wizards, Spencer Dinwiddie will return. His games with Beal have not been very good. His games without Beal have been pretty good. Can he find his niche with his assists and his usage and do some of those peripheral things when Beal is playing? I don't know. Well, Montrezl Harrell played big minutes last game with Gafford out. Didn't really do much. And then prior to that was playing 24 minutes a night. Is that trending towards a buy low? Is this who he is now? I don't know. I want to see how the minutes look for him. The Thunder and the Celtics. Couple of hyphens. I want to watch Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. Joe Rogan should start again at center. Is it 22 minutes? Is it 27 minutes? Can we see the numbers pushing up slightly? I think he's at least a 16-team league guy, probably a 14-team league guy, with potential to become a 12-team league guy down this track. While Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's been good, but his efficiency is nowhere near where it's been last season. It's way off. Why is that? Is it shots? Is it just like everyone else? They're just not going in? Is it the shot selection? Like, why is his efficiency so down this year? While for the Celtics, I want to see Marcus Smart, who I think's been playing pretty well. We don't know whether Jaylen Brown will return or Rob Williams will return in this game. They didn't play on Friday. Whether they can come in and how that impacts Smart and how it impacts Grant Williams, who, in general, when he starts, can put up okay numbers. So let's watch how those two look, dependent on the status of Rob and Jaylen. Let's look at the Hornets and the Hawks. The Hornets, man, they're so fun to watch. They're so fun to watch. So much good stuff goes down there. Terry Rozier, what's he able to do? I don't think he's ever going to go back to approaching what he did last season, but yeah, his role mixed in with Hayward and Oubre, is it just going to be constant fluctuations between those guys? And then as for Hayward, he'd been bad. Friday, he was really good. Do we see him be good again, or is it just going to be one of these situations where it's really, really up and down stuff from Gordon Hayward? Well, for the Atlanta Hawks, Kevin Huerter, Fanderpants, I think he's a 12-team league ad. He should start once again with DeAndre Hunter out, and he can be rostered. Let's see what he can do, especially with Bogdanovic healthy. And then Trae Young, who earlier today in the ranking show, he's fourth in category leagues over the last 2 weeks. The shooting numbers are through the roof. Can he maintain a good level of shooting, or are we about to see a prolonged cold stretch as those numbers potentially drop off? That would be a worry. Guys, I want to tell you, though, about Prize Picks. It is daily fantasy made easy. You always want things to be made easy, don't you? This is how daily fantasy is supposed to be. The picks, they move so effortlessly. The props up in here are going ham. Damn. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I'm going to cut that out. I don't know. Anyway, as for Prize Picks, they offer any prop that you can think of, from points to assists to blocks to steals. Whatever you want, Prize Picks have it. So get 2 to 5 players, combine them into one entry. You can win up to 10 times your entry. It's just you versus the over-under projection. So download the app or go to their website. Entries are easy, in 60 seconds or less, and if you use the promo code NBA on your first deposit, you get 100% match up to $100. So don't hesitate. Check out prizepicks.com, use the promo code NBA, or go to your app store and download the app today. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. All right, let's go on to the Magic and the Bucks. We know that Cole Anthony has been really, really putting up good numbers this year. Just digging into how he's commanding this team. I think that's important to see. I don't know what the hell happened when these other guys come back. At this point, I don't care. I'm just writing out what Cole's doing. And then also on Franz Wagner. Now, there is something that does happen. There's probably 2 camps of fantasy people, right? There's the ones who are constantly worried about what's going to happen in the future, but what about when Isaac returns? Or what about when Isaac returns? And then there's the other camp, which tends to be, well, this guy's playing so well, Isaac will have no impact on him. When in reality, what happens is generally probably somewhere in the middle. And with what he is doing, he's been really good, but not top 100 good. So losing 5% of that from Wagner probably does impact him enough where he might become droppable. But that could change. Depending on how he's able to establish himself, the usage and his peripheral stats, I want to see how he looks. He looks great. Schumer's not taking the minutes. We don't worry about that. But can he sustain enough to be that good where he has to demand the same usage and minutes even when Johnny Isaac is back in action? For the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves, Dylan Brooksy Brooks is out. So what are we going to do there? Are we going back to a 1-game DeAnthony Melton stream in this situation with Brooks out? Well, Brooks is doubtful with a hamstring. This bloke comes back for 1 game, sits out a game, plays 3 and is out again. That's not ideal. So are we streaming Melton in? Are we looking at Bane once more? And then Brandon Clark, who has taken over the role, it appears, from the cashier Xavier Tillman. He has big games. He has nothing games. Is this one of those games where you can stream him in? Well, for the Wolves, we look again at those forwards, Jaden McDaniels, we look at Jared Vanderbilt, Naz Reid, who's able to maintain the value. Vanderbilt probably is the better fantasy player, and he's playing pretty good minutes. But the last couple have bumped up because Reid hasn't been available, and that has helped Vanderbilt by playing at center. Well, D'Angelo Russell, the shooting's been horrible, but he is putting up really good numbers. And he is, really, the usage is sky high. I'd like that to drop off a little bit because I want Towns to get some of those minutes or some of that usage, but he's been great. The Jazz and the Kings. Rudy Gay, first game was amazing. Guarantee he won't do that again, but let's see what his use is in the second unit, the minutes, the usage, and what that means for Joe Ingles and for Jordan Clarkson.
JORDANCLARKSON.
Even for someone like Bojan Bogdanovic, who was pretty much missing in action last time. So how Gay impacts everyone will be keen to see. Also, what it means for Clarkson. Now, Clarkson is obviously just a punt field goal sort of guy with some bulk points, but if he loses the bulk points with Gay around, then the value is not really there. Well, for the Kings, another start probably for Chimezie Metu, who stunk last time out. Let's see if we can get some big minutes and a good game from Metu. I still think he's a hold. While they have been, probably erroneously, playing Marvin Bagley in the rotation. I don't know why. He's useless. He's not an NBA starter or even an NBA rotation player. I'd love to be proven wrong. I want everyone to be good, but unfortunately he's not. So let's just watch to see what he can provide. While for the Philadelphia 76ers in the next game against the Portland Trailblazers, Tyrese Maxey, big minutes, big usage, elite efficiency. At some point, he's going to come out and shoot like 18%. Is this the game? The sell-high window is absolutely still open. I don't know if it will be open after this game, but he's killing it at the moment. Whether that can continue or not, I don't know. There's no Joel Embiid, so Andre Drummond will probably start. But I want to watch old Goldfinger over here, Charlie Bassey. Is anyone old enough to know what I'm talking about when I call him Goldfinger? Anyway, Goldfinger. Can he play that elite game that he did last time out against the Nuggets? He was awesome. He was better than Drummond. Will Doc Rivers go back to him as at least the backup? I'm very intrigued to see what his role is in this game. While for the Blazers, well, it's all about Larry Nance, isn't it? He did play pretty well last game. He still only got 24 minutes, and he's shooting like 67% from the field on 2-pointers this year. So numbers are going to come down. And look, his overall statistical profile's bad this season. Apart from that one game where people go, oh, here we go. Oh, Larry Nance, it's all coming. I think he's an ad, but I'm not convinced. Maybe this is like the one-game Chris Boucher thing. How the Nance, Covington, Little, Nurkic minutes all work out is going to be really, really curious in this matchup. In terms of back-to-back streams, it's only really the Knicks that play the two games. Actually, it is only the Knicks that play the two games. So we're looking at Quickly, Burks, and Toppin, where you can add them for both Saturday and Sunday. For 9-cat streams on Saturday, we've got Pat Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt, Kevin Huerter, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Nasir Little, Danilo Gallinari, and Eric Gordon. And for deeper formats, you got Gallinari, Eric Gordon, Quickly, Brandon Clark, Herb Jones, and Alec Burks. And then in points leagues, we're looking at Beverly, Baisley, Vanderbilt, Nance, Metu, Huerter, and Connaughton. Guys, Thanksgiving is coming up. And you know what that means? It means delicious food, it means awesome family, it means maybe not so awesome family, and it means desserts, which unfortunately are delicious but high calorie and high in sugar. So why don't you get a new Thanksgiving tradition cracking at your family? And that is Built Bar for dessert. Built Bar is the protein bar that tastes just like a candy bar. It's covered in 100% real chocolate, low carbs, low fat, low sugar, but high in protein. You are going to be an absolute hero when you bust out the shiny wrappers of a Built Bar, pass them around your family, give them to everyone. Hey, who wants a Built Bar? You're going to have kids knocking on your door. I heard you've got Built Bars. Little Bobby, go back to your cheesies. We're talking Built Bars here. So get yourself a box of Built Bar. Check out all the amazing flavors, including the new ones, at Built.com by using our promo code LOCK15. Someone said to me, hey, I just ordered a box of Built Bars and I was stupid. I didn't use the promo code LOCK15. And yes, you were. You could have saved 15%. So go to Built.com, use that promo code LOCKed15 and get yourself a box of delicious Built Bars. Guys, that will do it for me today on today's What to Watch For. Don't forget, check out all the game recaps over at basketballmonster.com. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.